Welcome back to Grit Gym. Welcome back to Grit Gym. This is the 12:30 show, the 12:30 live show. I'm actually sitting here with you guys. So if you have questions, you have comments, you have something to say, you have something to ask, put it in the comment section below. It's going to pop up and it's going to tell me what that thing is. And then I'm going to be able to answer that question right here in real time. So what we're going over today is what does success look like to you? And if you're coming in here, please hit like so I see your face go across the screen. I really like that, and please take the time to share this out. If you like our message, or if you hate our message, yes. If you like our message, please click share and send this to everybody that you know in a private message. And please click share and send this out publicly. Obscurity is our biggest obstacle. Our biggest obstacle is obscurity, and we just want to help a lot of people. So if you've been watching the show at all for a very long time, you know that one of my biggest goals, the one that I write down every morning in my One Life Planner, is that I want to help billions of people in a positive way. I want to have a positive impact on billions of people. Okay, so if you can help me do that, I would appreciate it, because I've kind of gotten over the ego thing of being able to do this all myself. I actually did out the time equation that it would take to actually shake 1 billion people, shake 1 billion hands. So if I met 1 billion people and it took 1 second to shake their hand and move to the next person, how many years that would take me if I were to do that continuously for 24 hours a day. I forget what it was, but it was like 30 years or something like that. I don't have the time to be able to pull that off. That's where social media comes in. So if you guys can share this out, it's a big help to me. But what does success look like to you? I think this is something that a lot of people miss. They don't get real clear on what success looks like to them. And if you're not very clear on what you want, how are you going to get it? Okay, that's the big thing that we're talking about today. How are you going to get that thing if you're not clear with what you want? It goes into, like, one of the things with writing your goals every day is that you're setting the intention. You're setting the intention that you're going to go for that thing. Now, I have two big questions that I ask myself, and then I have 3 agreements, and they're all written out in the One Life Planner. So if I show you, let's get to a page where you can actually read it, because I scribble all over this thing so much that you guys wouldn't be able to read it. So I make a quote at the top. I make a quote. The quote is to get me fired up. What do I think about today? And what was it that I wrote today? What was it that I wrote today? Oh, I want to do good in the world, but I also want to do well in the world. Okay, two different ways. Grammar really plays into that. So So my quote for today, to get me fired up, what I wrote down today was, I want to do good in the world. I want to do good things in the world, and I do. I have an extreme conviction to help people. Okay, I don't think you're probably going to meet very many people more convicted by their profession, by their purpose on this earth than I am in wanting to help other people. Now, and that's not a need; it's an obsession. Is what it is. So I want to do good in the world, but I also want to do well in the world. You know, I want to do well. It helps me to be able to help other people. Do you get what I'm saying? It helps you to help other people. It does help you to help other people. This is a little bit of a selfish topic today, right? What would success look like to you? Sit down, and I want you to do this. I want you to get super, super selfish with everything that you're writing down, because what you consider selfish is probably exactly what you need to do in your life. Okay? If you are not paying attention to your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your time, you are the biggest selfish asshole that you know. If you're not paying attention to those, most people would say that it's selfless to not pay attention to those and pay attention to everybody else. But you are not great at anything if you don't pay attention to those. You can't be great for the people out there if you're not paying attention to these. If you're not paying attention to your relationship suffers. All the people that I help at the gym, you know, if they don't help themselves, I can't do much for them. Okay, I want you to get selfish, get extremely selfish with this list that we're going to go through. And your 4 big resources: health, wealth, relationships, time. Those are what you got to dig into. Health is the number 1 resource that you possibly have. Okay, relationships. We all value our relationships. Relationships are extremely important. Okay, we're very social beings. You know, the mammalian. What is that? Is that the gene? What is that? Anyway, All mammals extremely social. Your wealth is important. Your time here on this earth is important. So you got to get clear with all of these. What would success look like to you? And get clear on each one of these. What do you want? Hey, I think we're back. Internet's going out here all the time. Tell me you guys' input. Write it down in the comments section below. But do you find the internet is getting better or worse as time goes along? And I'm curious if this is like conspiracy by the internet companies, or is it just that we're using so much more data on a day-to-day deal? You know, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, so just social media in general, or live streams, this kind of stuff. So I'm really curious. But we went out there for a little bit. But what we're talking about today is, what would success look like to you with your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your time? And if you're not getting clear with these, it's kind of hard to get where you want to go. You know, if I'm not clear with where I'm going, well then anywhere works, but it doesn't take me anywhere. Okay? If I'm going to Nevada, I need to go that direction. If I'm going to New York, I need to go that direction. Okay? I got to get very clear with where I'm going. I want you to get really clear with where you're going too. So what's your health look like? Well, how do you want to take care of your health? Health is exercise, nutrition, mindset, recovery. Okay? We like to not look at mindset very much. We like to think that we already have all that under control. Well, we don't. We like to think that recovery isn't that big a deal, but that's where all the magic happens. All the magic happens in the recovery portion. You don't gain muscle at the gym. You gain muscle while you're recovering. You don't gain strength at the gym. You gain strength while you're recovering. You don't lose fat at the gym. You lose fat during the recovery. All the magic, everything that you want happens in the recovery phase. Mindset, how are you going to take this on? Because this is super courageous stuff that we're talking about when we talk about mindset. Mindset's one of those things. It's so tricky. There's so much in there. You're not going to be able to map your own mind. And you're going to have to focus so much on this you're going to have people telling you got to lighten up on writing your goals down. Why you got to do that so much? They're going to hate on you for it. Okay? Mindset is a super courageous thing to try to take that endeavor and really push it upon yourself. Nutrition. Do you really want to sit around and eat boxed and fast food? Do you think that that's going to something interesting? If we think about the whole, like, fast food doesn't break down, right? We can take McDonald's food and we can throw it in a corner of our garage and we can just let it sit there for months and months and months, open it up, and it's going to look almost basically exactly the same, and you could probably still eat it. Something to think about here. That means that bacteria didn't even want anything to do with it. And you want to put that in your body. Bacteria that will basically eat anything doesn't want to have anything to do with that. And yet us humans are willing to shove that crap down our mouths. I go so far as to say that I don't even think that that's real food. I don't think it's real food. Okay, if bacteria is not going to consume it, why would you? And I realize that could get played with quite a bit, that statement. But think about it a little bit. Is it real food? Is that the kind of food that you want to be putting in your body? Because nutrition is a big portion of health. Okay, exercise. Do you really want to do DVDs in your living room? Do you want to max out every time that you go to the gym as if it's some like macho fest? Do you want to, if you're a guy, do you want to be that guy that is intimidating females from the space that you are dominating with your machismo bullshit? Do you want to be that guy? No, I don't think so. And if you're a female, do you want to own that space that machismo douchebag is trying to inhabit? I hope so. I hope that you're willing to step up into that game. But do you want that beat up feeling from exercise that nobody likes? Do you want to do dance stuff all the time? The interesting thing about a lot of these cardio things is if you're going to go do dance, why do you go to a dance fitness thing? Well, you're going to get a crappy dance instruction, or you're going to get crappy dance instruction, and you're going to get a crappy workout. Why not separate the two? Go and do a real dance class where you're going to get good dance instruction, and then also go to a real workout where you're going to get a good workout. Stop trying to combine stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Do you want to jog? Do you want to just do mindless jogging? I do not believe anybody that says that they enjoy jogging, even if they're like a competitive jogger. I don't believe them. I've never, to this day, I have yet to see someone out jogging around that doesn't look miserable. Okay? And it might be the way that you clear your head. I get it. It's probably something to blow off steam for a lot of people, but there are other things that you can do that are better for you. I'm not saying that jogging is bad for you. That's not what that statement was supposed to mean. But there are things that are better for you to make that should be the bulk of your training. Jogging should be a very small portion of your training. But what do you want? What do you want? What would success look like to you in your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your time? Okay? How do you want to command your time? Because time equals distance divided by speed. So how do you create more time? You've got to go further and further. You got to do more in less time. You got to go faster. That's how you create time. Okay? Time is a great thing. We all say, like, time is our greatest resource. No, it's not. Health is your greatest resource, but time is one of the big ones. It's one of your 4 biggest ones: health, wealth, relationships, time. You got to get clear. You got to command time. How are you going to do that? You got to command time. Time equals distance divided by speed. Let that sink in a little bit. Think that through. How are you going to create time? You got to go faster. You got to go faster. Okay, relationships. What do you want in a relationship? You got to build a list. Okay, this is one of the big things I think that everybody misses. You got to build a list. I had just strings of awful relationships. Okay, not to get too like TMI, but I had all these awful relationships. Just terrible relationships. For some reason, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't understand it, and I was the common denominator, so I knew it was on me. Okay, so I get done with the girl I dated in college. Basically, an awful relationship. It sucked. I thought it was this one thing, so I went and studied that one thing, this one part of the relationship, and then I started studying other things. So like communication, like all these different aspects of relationships. Eventually I got a relationship coach, learned a lot from that relationship coach. Then I went and got another relationship coach, kept reading books, really kept learning about this stuff. And what it did, it enhanced all my other relationships around me. So my relationship with, all of a sudden I was able to have other friends, just platonic friends. I was able to have romantic relationships that developed into what I have now. But at some point I remember hearing a friend say, how he created a list, and I was like, dude, why would you create a list? That means that you could potentially be pushing away that person that is just dynamite for you. That you guys just get along so well just because she wasn't the right height or she wasn't the right hair color or something like that. Why would you do that? And when I realized, finally, I was like, all right, I'm making a list, and I just got crazy. Okay, this is one of those selfish things, like getting selfish. Selfish is a very good thing. Okay, if you are selfish, if you put you first, you're better at all the things that make you great, and you're better service to all those that you care about. Okay, you're better at everything. Everything that makes you already great, you're going to be better at it if you put you first, and you're going to be a better service to those that you care about. If you don't eat first, if you don't put your nutrition first, you don't put your exercise first, you don't put your mind first, you don't do this stuff in the morning, you don't write you got it upside down. If you don't write your quote down, you don't write your goals down, you don't you don't ask that question, or am I going to love myself today, or am I going to be afraid that I'm not enough today? If you don't make those 3 agreements that you're going to work hard to improve, that you're going to focus on the present priority, that you're going to be a positive influence. If you don't make those agreements, how do you expect to keep that intention throughout the day? If you don't write your goals after that, how do you expect to stay focused on those things out there? How do you expect to build the belief in yourself that you can attain them? Also, how are you going to break down how to get there, the stair steps to how to get there? You got to write down your targets every day. If you don't do this for yourself, how are you going to be great for your kids, your wife, your friends, the people that you serve at your job, or your employer? Or if you're the employer, what about your employees? How are you going to be great at this stuff if you don't take care of you first? And I would suggest doing it at night too. That's what this down here is for. To write down your successes, because your successes are going to drive you forward as you sleep and the next day. And then what did you learn? What did you learn that day? If you're going through life, you don't learn something every day, then you got a problem. You got a problem if you're not learning something every single day. And you write down your goals again at night so that you can put that in your subconscious, so that you can start mulling that over, so that you can start believing more and more in yourself as time goes along. Okay, belief in yourself is a huge, huge deal. If you don't believe that you can drop 30 pounds, how do you think it's going to happen? If you don't ever set the intention to drop 30 pounds, how do you think it's going to happen? It won't. It will not happen. Okay. So where were we? I don't even know. Oh, we were on relationships. So I started creating a list. I started creating a list of what did I want out of relationships. What are you? You've got sex, you've got communication. Of course, I'm male, it comes sex first. Sex, communication, you're going to eat together, what other activities? Vacation time. How often do you want to take vacation time? How much time do you want to spend together during the day? What are his characteristics? What do you want out of the other person to have? What do you want them to like about you? What do you like about you? You start figuring things out about yourself via this hypothetical other person. One of the two things at the top of my list were curiosity and courage. Those are the first two things. Those are the biggest two things. Those are two deal breakers. Those are two big red flags. If they're not courageous in their life, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want, why would you want that around you? If they're not curious, if you don't value curiosity, I totally understand. However, curiosity for me is a big deal. I want to talk with her about cool things. I think she wants to talk with me about things that she's thinking in her head. I think she wants to be interested in me, and I want to be interested in her. And if she's not curious, I'm not going to be interested. Okay, so those were two very, very, very big things for me on my list, and I kept going down. And I got chauvinistic, I got selfish, I got all the bad stuff that you think of, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. Even to myself, I was like, I can't believe I'm writing this down. Oh my God. Make a list. What do you want out of your relationship? What do you want? How often do you want it? What type of things do you want? Get clear with what, and I'm not just talking about sex, I'm talking about everything. What do you want? What do you want out of your relationship? What do you want in your life? Okay. And that goes for health too. It goes for wealth. It goes for health. It goes for relationships. It goes for time. Those are our four great resources. That's one of the things, I'm mulling this around right now a lot because I'm trying. I said it was the final rewrite, but I was wrong. After I printed this off, I was like, man, I've got some work to do on this book. So what this is The Cost of Courage. Okay, this is what a book looks like on its first write. It doesn't have a cover, nice fancy cover. It's just a print off with a spiral bound. This is kind of what it looks like, I think. Anyway, I don't know what other authors do because so far I'm not a real author, right? But I wrote The Cost of Courage. The cost of courage is your old life. It's a normal life. A cost of courage is a normal life. Okay. Normal is just everyday, mundane, everybody gets it, okay, cool. Is that the life? If that's the life that you want to live, then this is probably the wrong book for you. This is probably the wrong show for you because we talk about a lot of weird shit. But anyway, right now it's 300 pages. The editor said, you got to get this down to a healthy weight, gym guy. And I was like, okay, what's that mean? He goes, 100 pages. You got to drop 100 pounds. I was like, oh boy, that's a lot. That's a lot to cut out for a guy who's very good at producing and not great at cutting. But Cost of Courage gets into your health, your wealth, your relationships, your time. Everything that I know about all four of those subjects, well, maybe not everything that I know, but a very condensed version of that into this book is what I'm going for. But what do you want out of your health, okay? Or your wealth, I mean. Wealth is something that people don't like to talk about. I don't understand why. Money is a big deal. Your wealth is one of your greatest resources in life, And if you don't have enough passive income coming, and I'm in this category too, if you don't have enough passive income coming into your life to pay for your everything, your livelihood right now, then you're still broke. This is the interesting thing about the middle class. The middle class is broke, but we think that we're not. For some reason, we think that we're not broke, but we're broke. Because we don't have enough assets bringing money into us on a monthly basis to pay for our livelihood if we didn't have that. So we are broke. The middle class also pays for everything, the entire show, the entire United States. Poor people don't have any money to pay to taxes. They don't have anything to take, so they don't pay any taxes. Rich people don't pay any taxes either because they wrote the tax code. Why would they write the tax code so that they can have less money? They wrote the tax code. They don't pay any taxes. The middle class pays for everything. That could be that you're making $1 million a year. You make $1 million a year. You're not rich. You're not. Hey, I'm back. We keep cutting in and out. I don't know. Maybe the internet here isn't so good either, but okay. So health, wealth, relationships, time. What do you want out of your health? Get real clear with this. Do you want to be a size 6? That's okay. Write it down. It's not vain. When I was in college one time, I took a class on vocation, and we were supposed to, one of the teachers put us in line, and she goes, okay, get in order of most important to least important, based on your vocation that you're choosing to do in your future while you're here to go to college. So the doctor goes up to the front, and then everybody else kind of lines up. And I walked up, and I'm like, I want to go in front of the doctor because I know that exercise and all the stuff that I'm thinking in my head that I want to give, that I want to provide as service to people is way above what the doctor is able to do because he's in sick care and I'm in health care. And I was like, but nobody is going to believe this behind me, so I'll just go second in line and be humble. You know, and this girl got mad at me, real mad at me, and she started screaming at me. She goes, your industry is just vain. It's all about vanity. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm in health. Like, I help people exercise better, believe in themselves, nutrition. And I didn't say this at the time. I was just like, what? I was dumbfounded. I couldn't even believe it. But that's what a lot of people think. However, there is nothing wrong with being vain. You want to be a size 6? That's your goal. You want to be a size 6? Go for it. You want to be a size 2? Go for it. As long as it's within healthy means, of course. Okay, so there's certain people that just have the skeleton that's not going to be able to get to certain places. But get clear. What I'm saying is get clear with what you want. Okay, get clear with what you want. If Hey, we're back again. We got cut off again. Okay, but what do you want? Okay, what do you want? Do you want to be strong? Because I guarantee you strength is going to help out with every single thing. Do you want to be powerful? Because I guarantee you having power, like the ability to produce force quickly, is going to be a very, very good thing. Power is going to be powerful in your body. Because really, what are we talking about here? We're not just, I'm not selling exercise. This is one of those things where I think that it gets confusing. I'm not selling exercise. Okay? One, I'm selling you and believing in you in order to gain the strength that will allow you to do all the other things in your life. I'm not selling you on exercise. I'm not selling you on the recreation of exercise. Nobody likes exercise. Nobody enjoys this stuff. I mean, some people might find it enjoyable. We definitely try to do that at Grit Gym, but nobody enjoys this stuff. What they enjoy is what it allows them to do in the rest of their life. Okay, you want to pick your kids up and throw them up above your head way past the time when they're probably the size that you can do it? Do you want to be, when you're a grandma, do you want to be able to pick your kids up and carry them to bed? Do you want to have if you're talking vanity, which is supposedly such a bad thing when it's really not, do you want to have long, thin arms? Do you want to be a healthy weight? Do you want your joints to be crumbling underneath the weight of the fat of your body, or do you want to be strong? Okay, strength helps you do all these crazy things. It is not about the strength. It is about what it allows you to do in the rest of your life. And I have to sell you on believing in you in order to do that. Okay, so please make it easy for me. Just give me a call, sign up, come on in, get a strategy session, and let's get rolling. But what do you want from your health? What do you want? Because your health allows you to do all this cool stuff in your life. Your health allows you to use your wealth the way that you want to use it. Your health allows you to be in the relationships the way that you want to be in your relationships. Your health allows you to command your time. Health is the most important resource. But what do you want out of it? Get very, very, very clear with what success looks like to you. To me, I like to be able to do anything at the drop of a hat. If I wanted to do, RAGBRAI was a couple weeks ago. Somebody would have called up. This actually happened a few years ago. Somebody called up and said, hey, we're doing RAGBRAI. You want to come and meet us tomorrow? We're pretty close to Iowa City. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go do that. I didn't train for RAGBRAI. I hadn't been on a bike in years. I did just fine. Why? Because I keep myself in good shape to be able to do things like that. That's what I like. Okay? If I want to go paddleboarding, if I want to go rock climbing, if I wanted to go do a big hike, I could do it. Okay? If I want to throw my nieces and nephews up in the air and if I want to go swimming and do cool things, like flip them higher than they are comfortable going usually, that's really fun for me. I want to be able to do that kind of thing. I lift so it gives me the ability to do the things in my life that I want to do, and that's why you should be working out too. If you were a basketball player, what would you do? You want to be able to run higher. You want to be able to jump higher. You want to be able to move faster. You want to be able to be a better basketball player. You're not getting stronger just to get stronger. You're doing it to be able to be better at your sport. It's the same thing with health in your life. Okay? With nutrition, do you want to eat boxed and fast food, or do you want to eat the vegetables and the grass-fed beef and that kind of thing? Hey, maybe you don't like vegetables. However, what's it allow you to do in the rest of your life? Okay, mindset. If you might not want to dig into this mindset stuff. It might be kind of scary. Totally understand that. Still got to do it. You still got to tweak that stuff. You still got to set your intentions. You still got to keep positivity on an all-time high, and you got to drive yourself to be focused, because the more positive you are, the more positive you can be. The better you set your intention, the more that intention is bound to come true. The more focused that you become, the more focus that you have. You practice this thing, and if you're not practicing it, you're doing the opposite. Okay? You're practicing focusing on the distraction. You're practicing being negative. You're practicing getting what you didn't want instead of what you did want. But if you don't get clear with what it is that you do want, you're much less likely to get the thing that you want. You have to set the intention and you got to get there. What about recovery? How much better are you on a good night's sleep? Are you better on a good night's sleep or a crappy night's sleep? Of course. You got to get your health on point. You got to get your health on point. Okay? You got to get your wealth on point. You got to get your relationships on point. You got to command time. What do you want out of a relationship? Make your list. Be very, very clear. Don't judge yourself for anything that you write down. If you write down that you want a like for me, I remember I wrote it down. And I think at the time it was more like trying to create a person that didn't exist so that I never had to actually do something that I was scared of, which was be in a relationship. I wrote down I wanted the unattainable. I wanted the unattainable. I wanted a girl that nobody else could get. Nobody could possibly get. Look at Rachel walk down the street. I got a girl that nobody could get. Okay, that's what happened. So that's what I wanted in a relationship. I wanted a curious girl. I wanted her to be outrageously courageous, and I wanted her to be unattainable. I had a bunch of other stuff written down too. It's pretty wild, but and I did that list multiple times. But what do you want out of your relationship? Get very, very clear with this. How is being broke helping you? Which gets into wealth, because if you're watching this, you're probably in the middle class. Most of us are. Okay. Most of us are. We play for the whole show. It's kind of a bullshit game, and it's failing. So it's either going to be very, very soon. It's either going to be that you're broke or you're rich, and we're going to have to choose. And you do that by what you do today. You do that also with your health. Everything is going to change as time goes along. But anyway, I just noticed it's 1 o'clock, and I said that I was going to get out of these things at 1 o'clock. But anyway, what would success look like to you? If you guys have the guts, put it right here. Put it right here in the comments section, and it'll be interesting to talk back and forth about what you write down. But anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Tomorrow, I believe we have an interview. Not positive about that. We were supposed to have one yesterday, but technology didn't hold up for us. But thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It is humbling that you guys take the time out of your day to come in and hang out with me and watch me talk about some of the things that I've learned over the years. And believe me, all the things that I talk about came about because of some hardship that I had in my own life that I had to get coaching for, or read books upon, or had to learn from the School of Hard Knocks. Anyway, thanks guys for being here. I really appreciate it. See you tomorrow.